What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again. Got a quick unboxing video for you today, and one I'm really excited to do because this is actually a very early Christmas present. A friend of mine and I decided to do Christmas very early this year, just get it out of the way, and we both got something we really wanted, and I got this. This is my first real steel knife. It's the E775 Griffin. So I'm going to try to keep this video fairly short. I was originally going to do all the specs and everything like that, but we'll try to keep it under 6 minutes or so. But a little bit on the brand before we get into the knife. I've had lots of viewer questions about what I thought of Real Steel as a company, if I was ever going to pick any models up or review any, and I've come very close. I mean, a lot of times, putting in a knife order, some things I was interested in, and those knives were always in and out of my cart. Because I didn't really know about the brand. I didn't know if they had good quality control, fit and finish, if they're good value, if they were a company a lot of other people avoided. So I'm glad my friend pulled the trigger for me because I am very impressed with this knife so far. Even the packaging for a $54 knife seems pretty outstanding. Got a cool looking box here, Real Steel on the front, RSK logo, kind of embossed in red there. So even the presentation was cool. Not that the presentation matters all that much. It's all about the tool that you actually purchased, but it's nice to see that. Little foam padding here, and then some warranty information, basic stuff. The warranty did seem a little bit vague, and I don't know how Real Steel would handle any issues that arose, but I doubt I'm going to have any. Another cool thing to see, this came with its own Real Steel microfiber cleaning cloth, which I don't think I've ever had a knife do that. So that's pretty interesting. Like I said, $54 for all that. Not bad so far. And here is the blade. Really attractive looking blade, at least in my mind. Seems practical, but it also has some kind of innovative features. And the reason I was looking at this knife in particular out of Real Steel's catalog really was it has the same exact materials as one of my favorite blades of all time, the Kershaw Knockout. We're talking anodized aluminum handles and Sandvik 14C28N blade steel. So if I didn't like the design, the ergonomics, or the action, at least I would like the materials. Now I do believe this is a different aluminum alloy. I think this is 7075 and this is 6061 T6. Not sure. I'll go over it all in my review in the upcoming weeks along with the specs. I do know that this knife is around 3.5 ounces, and I think that's a featherweight for the size. Honestly, this is definitely over 8 inches. It's around 3.5 inch blade. So lightweight for sure. That's something I noticed right as I pulled it out of the box. So go over feature by feature real quick. I'll give you guys my initial impression. So the blade here, Real Steel logo on that side, model number and steel. Heavily stone washed, great looking drop point, fully flat ground, and it's coming from fairly thin blade stock, which is good to see. So this is going to be a good slicer, and it came fairly sharp. I did some testing with it just to see the initial sharpness, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't extraordinary, but it's definitely passable. Deployment was the best thing about this knife so far. It's got a weird shaped thumb hole here, and I originally just kind of rotated it out, and I was like, wow, that's pretty smooth. It's riding on bearings, guys. It is crazy smooth. You can middle finger flick it. You can actually use the lock as the opening mechanism too, so you can stay out of the blade path the entire time if you so wish. Blade centering is damn near perfect. Let's get a closer look at that button here. So the button's kind of an interesting thing here. I'm not super familiar with plunge locks. I only have two actually. Where are they at here? Kershaw Dimension and the SOG Zoom. Both of these are assisted, and I'm not a huge fan of plunge locks, but I'm learning to love them more and more because especially this one seems to be designed very well. The lock itself, at least the locking surface, let's do a comparison real quick between these SOG. You can see that the SOG has very little material blocking, or at least locking that blade, while the Real Steel has a whole lot of material that you need to depress for you to drop that blade closed. And I think the reason, or the method of how they did that, is they got this kind of faux button on the other side, a false button, that locking mechanism actually travels into when it's in the closed position. Another cool feature about the lock, it's got a secondary safety. You rotate this dial forward and you're unable to fully depress the lock. You can see not going to close on you. And then you rotate it back. It's out of the way, and so far, in the little bit of cutting I've done, it seems to be very functional if I wanted some extra strength or, something like that. And like I said, fall shut, just amazing action, deployment. Actuating this knife is a blast. It's a kind of one of those fiddler knives that turns out to be very functional, at least I hope. The handle, it's got a different feel than aluminum I've been used to so far. It's not as chalky as this one, but definitely cool feel to the material at least. Very light, very simple design here. One standoff. We're approaching 6 minutes, guys. We're going to go a little bit over. Sorry about that. Kind of a boxy design. All the edges aren't chamfered off, but definitely where your fingers are going to be touching is. Jimping is fantastic. Very shallow, but very sharp. And not in the way to, hurt your thumb or anything like that, but it just grabs on just enough so you know you're there. Forward finger choil, not bad. Not that I use them that much anyway. Pocket clip, I'm a little unsure on. I haven't really thrown it in the pocket yet, but it is canted just a little bit. So this knife should stay towards the seam of your pocket so you can grab other things out of it. It flows well with the knife, so we'll see how that pocket clip works. Don't want to comment too much on that. So all in all, guys, I am very impressed with Real Steel. I mean, $54 for that presentation, this level of fit and finish where I'm not seeing any blemishes on the knife. I mean, the grind seems very even. I mean, it's sharp all around, the edge is equally sharp. That's what I'm trying to say here. The blade centering is good. The action's amazing. I don't see anything telling me that this knife should cost $54. So all in all, once I get some use on this knife, I think I'm going to become a Real Steel fanboy of sorts. I think I'm going to be wanting some more models because I love the steel, I love aluminum, and I know they do some G10, some liner locks, some frame locks. So I just feel like I discovered a new company of knives that I think is going to be a really trustworthy source of decent EDC blades. So stay tuned for the review coming up, like I said, in the upcoming weeks. Thanks for watching, and remember, have fun with your knives.